Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do some fun stuff. We're going to cut up some red oak and we're going to use a moisture detector. This red oak's been sitting around for approximately almost 2 years. So we're going to be using a moisture detector to see what kind of moisture is in a log that's been sitting around for 2 years. So another thing we're going to do today is we're going to change out this reservoir. We've got a new reservoir to put on. And it's split apart and it's really no fault of Frontier. The reason is I was trying a diesel mixture to help with a pitch for cutting some pine logs. First off, it just didn't really work because it would wear the belts out. The diesel would get in the belts and cause the belts to deteriorate really fast. So diesel is just not the right cutting fluid or the right coolant for this type of blade. And it ended up getting on everything. I smelled like diesel all the time. I just, hey, I'm just going to go with water. And I'm not cutting pine very often anymore. But if I do, I'm probably just going to go with a pine saw or a pine oil, something like that. We have one more task today is I'm going to carry off my sawdust. And I've been collecting this sawdust for a while now. And it's been up under the roof, so it's dry. I got some ideas. People were telling me what I think I should do with this. I thought about like mixing this into the garden. I know it'll pull the nitrogen out of the soil if we do that. Somebody else recommended that we burn it and then put that ash into the garden. If you got any comments on that? Listen, I'm open to suggestions. I've never had to deal with this much bulk sawdust before. And we're getting ready to start a big project, and we're going to be cutting a lot of stuff on the sawmill, so we're going to have a lot of sawdust. First off, we'll go get this thing dropped off. You guys come on. Imagine this is going to be a good muddy mess right here because I'm going to pull this thing up just a little bit further. Yeah, I tilled this yesterday and we got about, I want to say we got about a good 1.5 inches of rain. Pretty handy. You guys tell me what I need to do with this this sawdust. I think eventually it'll rot down and make some good soil, but I don't know how many years that'll take. Okay, so this is a new tank. It comes with a valve and it has inset screws or inset nuts, and that's what we're going to do right now is take off the bolts that screw into this from the bottom side of the tank. And I don't think this is going to take too long. I just hope I've remembered to bring water. All right, see if I can climb over in here and get to the point where I need to be. I didn't think about taking stuff off like this. Hoping that tank is just not spinning that nut around. I really think that's what's happening. I think it broke loose inside there. I read a comment somewhere about that exact thing happening. That one come loose. Let's see. And that one come loose. This one, it's spinning around inside it. We'll just have to rip it off. All right, what I'm gonna do now is take this little hose clamp thing off here. This is, the nut is stuck in the bottom of that. It's just spinning around. So for whatever reason that's happening, I'm just gonna have to rip this off and then put a wrench or a pair of vice grips, something on top to hold that nut. All right, there's the nut. Should be able to get a socket on that now. All right, let's see. I got my pliers kind of wedged up there. I couldn't get a wrench to it because it's got a little head on it, but I did get my pliers at a different angle. There we go. There we go. All right, let's see if I can get more than a half a turn out of this. one of the locations where just about out of my reach. Okay, all 3 bolts are out. That could have been a lot more painful, could have been a lot easier, but I'm just happy that we move it on. Okay. All right, that's one screw on, 1 bolt holding it down. I'll see you guys when I get ready to hook the hose up. I can't believe you guys didn't help me out there and let me know that I had turned that around backwards. You guys are just gonna let me put that on, wouldn't you? I thought we were friends. I put this little, pull this out, it'll be a little easier to do, maybe not. There we go. This should be the easiest part, but I put extra heavy duty hose on, so it's really hard to move, but there we go. I have got just a little bit of water left. Apparently, it should be enough for today, though. We're not gonna. So we've had some pretty extensive winds here lately, where we were 60-mile-an-hour winds with some actual 40-mile-an-hour sustained winds for several, 25 or 30 minutes. It was pretty bad. A lot of limbs down, a lot of trees down. So let me get a little bit of this out of the way. Move, Gimmo. Move, buddy. Move. We're gonna have to cut the top off of this for sure. Let me put these back stops down a little bit. So I got my back stops lowered down. We're gonna go ahead and put this log dog up and get it secured into place. And what we have to do is come down and take slices of this. Now, one of the things we are gonna do today is test as we cut into the wood. This is red oak. And it's been on the ground, well, it's been stacked over there. It's not on the ground, but it's been stacked over there for, I want to say almost 2 full years. So I'm curious to see what the moisture content, does it dry? It's just been standing out in the weather. Does it dry anymore? Or are we going to still see those, 40 and 50% moisture rates on the inside of this log? So we'll take measurements as we go down each layer. All right, red oak. See what we got going on now. I've already started this up earlier, warmed it up, so should be ready to go. I'm gonna cut that top piece off and work our way down. All right, this is a top test moisture detector. I'm going to set it on, it's got different modes here, and we're going to set it on mode B for oak. And then we're also going to set it to Fahrenheit, so it shows it's 67 degrees outside right now. And then I have it set for max, so it's going to hold whatever the highest pressure is. So we'll go ahead and take this and just kind of put it right in here. 45.3%. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's see if we can zoom in on that some. I apologize for Tanya not being here to do the camera work. I'm having to kind of do it all myself with this little self-tracking camera. I think he's doing okay. All right, so we're going to do two tests real quick with this top test moisture detector, moisture meter. So I want to go on the outside. This is in some of the punky wood. So it's been exposed. So we're going to go ahead and put that in. Push the hold button. Again, 44.6. We'll go ahead and let you guys see that. I don't know if you can see it or not. And then let me go back again, and we're going to put it in the heartwood. So release the hold and put it right here in the heartwood. .38. Let's go ahead and push that. Yeah, 38.2. See if I can let you guys see that. 38.2. I wonder why this is backwards. Guys about let me cut the sunglasses up. I expect more out of you. This is a really hard knot. Probably a good 18 inches across. So this is something, I don't even think I told you guys this, what we're cutting up. This is just red oak, and it's not really great for what we're using it for, but this wood has been out here for so long, we're just going to use it. We're going to be using this for building some raised beds inside the greenhouse. So red oak is not an ideal source, but it'll probably last us, 5 or 6 years till we figure out exactly what we want inside the greenhouse. So I figure my wife will have me change it out. So this is a 2-inch board, pretty heavy out here by myself. I'm just gonna let it fall out of the way. I'll take the tractor later on and set it up here, and we'll cut some a 10-inch board out of this. Oh, I forgot to turn the water off. All right, so now we're into some of the heartwood. Let's go ahead. I got it set on B for oak and Fahrenheit. Let's go ahead. I'll push hold. Now it's 30 towards the center, it's 35.3. So yeah, it is drying out. This has been setting out in the weather, so the outer parts of it are still damp from this winter, but the center is still quite a bit drier than it would have been otherwise. So Yeah, 35 is not a bad place to start. I'm going to extend these out a little bit. See if I can turn these around so that they can help. Somebody told me in one of my posts to put a wedge up under the log. That's a brilliant idea. Brilliant. So what I recommend doing now after doing this manual mill for a long time is cut your first cut flat and then rotate that flat spot up to the back of your backstops. And what it does is you can wedge it up against the back of your backstops, making sure that the back is square to the bed. And then once you have that done, you don't need backstops any longer. You can just keep flipping it over and you have a flat edge to come up against. And it just saves a little bit of labor. Manual mills are very labor intensive. I'll just say that. However, I love doing it. It is by far one of the most rewarding things that I personally do, and I just love it. I love working with a sawmill. It's pretty doggone close at the back. Pretty doggone close. Again, what I'm going to do is just tighten this up, and then I can just kind of wiggle the log back and forth, and it will cause it to seat up against the backstops. Probably get a 2x4 out of that. I don't know how strong it'd be, but yeah, I'll probably bring that back up to the mill for sure. Pretty good size. I could probably get a 2x6 out of that for sure. So again, we're going to go back to check the moisture of this. Now we're really getting into the hardwood. 37 here. Let's go here. 39. I wonder how much that has to do with the water that's coming off of the blade. I'm pretty sure that's got some sort of effect on it, because some of the places that were dried a little longer were 30, like 33. This is 38 here. I'm gonna say that has an effect on that for sure. So maybe all this testing that I'm doing right now is probably for naught. I just got a new moisture tester and I want to play with it. So this is a 6-inch cant now. I'm gonna turn it up on its side, and then we'll take some of these other boards and wedge them in there together so that we can get some 2x4s and some other sizes out of there as we cut down through there, so we're not making a bunch of extra passes. I will say this, that wood stable, it don't have a lot of flex in it. It's not really structural, but maybe we can use it for something. Bench or something like that, which I guess is kind of structural, but. Got a piece of bark that flew off. Got in the track. That's our first true 2x6. Got a hair of a bow to it, not much. Probably dry it out. Also picked up 2 more 2x6s. Just from scraps. It's got a big knot in it, so this is not really structural, but it may look pretty. Probably won't throw this one on the ground though, because I think it will break. It's got a little punky right here, but that's a fairly structurally sound board. Got a good sound to it. Had to stop and take me a little break. we're going to go ahead and chop this last little bit off, and then we're going to call it a day. I didn't see that happen. I sit there and done that right in front of y'all. So this is a good learning experience right here. It's be natural to want to pull the blade back through the log, and if you do that with the engine running, it will cause the bandsaw blade to come off, hit metal parts, and definitely damage the blade. Let me get that. There's a wedge in here somewhere I had laid up. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the other end and put this wedge on the big board, and then I can lift the little board up myself. That should get me through. Yeah, that was not smart. So now I've got to come back here, chop this off. I wonder if I could knock that off with a hatchet. There's no saying. I got a shirt somewhere. I think I got it on the internet. It says you can't fix stupid. I was sitting there. I actually took a break and didn't come back to look at this. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Wasn't bad at all. All right, let's try that one more time. See if I can get that to go through. So all that work for that one little mistake, just to get that one little 2x4. But it's a fairly stable 2x4 with some pretty good hardwood in it. It's got some hardwood. Got a little punky right there, but for the price I paid for this, I like it. So here's one more 2x6 we're going to use for a raised bed in the greenhouse. All right, we should be able to get one more 2x6 out of this, or we should be two more 2x6s out of this I believe this would be considered a 4x6 cant. I think it's gonna rain on me. Calling for tornadoes tomorrow. It's gonna be rough. Wet, red oak, white oak, pretty much any oak. 2x6s are heavy. Heavy, heavy, heavy. This is awful lot light work.